Breaking news about Vybz Kartel. 200 likes on this video. Breaking news. You need to hear this. Subscribe to the channel, people. Today's the final segment inside the blessing, so they don't go away. Watch this.
Jamaica justice system is very corrupt, and Jamaican, our illiteracy rate is very low. But if it is one thing about us, we are die-hearted. The Jamaica justice system pulled together, and they know something that the rest of us don't know. When I look on Kartel is very sick. And as I said,
200 likes on this video.
Money is just enough and so much. With Kartel making his own the most money in prison at the peak of his career, took down so ill with grave disease. The grave disease, it doesn't kill you, but what it does, it weakens the heart muscle and you can have a heart attack at any minute. So in the peak of his career, that is when his situation tumbles. So he came out, he's sorting out things, he
Everybody,
get married,
200 likes
and
on
I'm
this
just
video.
hoping that those bottle that Kartel is walking with, I am hoping he's not drinking from them. Those tobacco that he's smoking, I am hoping he is not smoking, because that the heart will just wipe you out at any minute. Was it a strategy they used to release Kartel because they don't want Kartel to die in their care because of the public backlash? Is it to trick the public? Did Kartel really want the appeal, or the Jamaica corrupt justice system trying
Welcome to each and every one. No, that is a former police officer. You understand me? Now, a few days ago, I've been giving you the videos where a judge justice side says that Vybz Kartel shouldn't be out. He should be in prison. He shouldn't be out celebrating and performing in front of millions of persons. No, Vybz Kartel was never innocent according to the judges, everybody. Who no perceived that the system made a big mistake and he deserves to be behind the bars. Vybz Williams' family, of course, did what they needed to do according to the judge, everybody, but they did not get the justice. They're calling for justice because the system has failed them. Okay, now we look into what this new information has provided my people with Vybz Kartel arrest, being in prison, and of course the purpose and the cause. What was the motive? The judge now points to whatever needed to be done had to be done pertaining to what the evidence were against Vybz Kartel, which according to him the courts did not debate. Investigators did their jobs, police officers did their jobs, analysts and the prosecutors did their jobs, but according to him, he says that Vybz Kartel should have been in prison and Vybz Williams will never get the justice he deserves. You understand me? And we will talk about it, as I said before, my people. It's a final segment inside a Blessing Sunday. And let me not forget to wish you God's richest blessing. People, a video is on Virtual TV Vlogs. You can go over there. You can check it out. Watch the video. You understand me? Alright? Because I will be consistent where these videos are concerned. Okay, my people? So, you don't need to look no further. Subscribe to the channel and hit that post notification bell so whenever Virtual TV drops content, you will be notified instantly. Alright? Yes. So, now, let's get to the meat of the matter where that is concerned, everybody. Now, a few days ago, I gave you a video with detailed information about how the courts view what happened to Vybz Kartel. You understand me? And how the judge is now saying, and according to the courts, that Vybz Kartel is guilty. Now, they're saying that his arrest was 100% accurate and he was indeed, according to the courts, found guilty, but it was because of the court's problems as to why he was freed in the first place. Now we hear this information that was provided now by this person who has been very vocal about the Vybz Kartel situation, says that it could have been a number of factors as to why they released Vybz Kartel initially. Okay, now they weigh in heavily on the situation, and do remember that a lawsuit is filed before the courts, by the way, for his alleged 23 or 24 hours a day lockdown, which according to his lawyer says that that was the thing that made his health deteriorated worse. Now a whole heap of people ask where you get the information from, Virtual. Where did you find that? No doctor will give you that information. That information was made public in the court of law. If you follow the Vybz Kartel trial from the beginning of the appeal stage, the Privy Council, you would have learned the affidavit and what it says, and you would have learned the testimony that his son, which is Little Addy, made to the court about the type of crisis that Vybz Kartel had faced in his health. You would have seen where, according to medical professionals presenting affidavit, says that Vybz Kartel's heart was not operating at full capacity. You would have seen that, according to medical affidavits presented to the court, you would have seen that they're saying that Vybz Kartel's health was not in the best shape possible. You would have seen, if you would have paid attention to whatever documents provided to the courts, that's according to medical professional, that Vybz Kartel would have suffered heart attack at any given time, because they're saying his heart was at the time operating below 20%. You would have seen that. Okay? You would have seen it. Now fast forward to now the information provided, right? Where you now see where persons are saying about innocence or guilt. And what do you think Kartel is, everybody? Is he innocent or is he guilty? What do you say? Comment and tell me, guilty or not guilty. What are your thoughts about that? But in the eyes of the system, Kartel is responsible for the dropping of Clive Lizard Williams, allegedly. Now, what they're saying is this: make no mistake, Vybz Kartel never beat the case. He was, of course, what they call the case of Vybz Kartel thrown out. Okay? It was thrown out. It was admissible in the first place and inadmissible in certain criteria of Vybz Kartel's case. But it wasn't a case they're saying that they didn't believe, according to the evidence presented, that he was not a guilty man. It was because of the mistakes of the court and them not having the top resources and them not having the full-blown regulations and efficiency to move forward where a retrial would have been concerned. Okay? Yeah. So we now hear this person who says that the system know what they did do, because at the end of the day, according to what is being said in the video which I provided earlier, said that they didn't want to have the dropping of Vybz Kartel on their hands. And this is a very good reasoning. They're saying that Vybz Kartel's health was so bad, according to the video that I shared with you, that the system didn't want to be held responsible for Vybz Kartel's health. And I somewhat agree with this situation. Let me tell you why. You could have seen the condition that Vybz Kartel came out in, and you would have learned of certain instances where he spoke about the inhumane and the dilapidated conditions of what was happening behind the bars while he was serving sentence. Now, you would have learned also, according to the description of his lawyer, that he was placed in a poorly insulated room which done nothing but bad things to his health. Okay? So now, that is another factor as well. Now, make no mistake, whether you think that he is guilty or not guilty, he is now a free man. But it is still lingering. It is still lingering about the perception that Vybz Kartel will always be a convicted criminal in the eyes of the Jamaican system. The system doesn't view Kartel as an innocent man, and that is very clear. If a judge can come out and make these types of description about Kartel, who believes that he should be behind bars in prison instead of performing, that means he never want him for free in the first place. But whether I don't like it, yes or no, he's a free man and he's living his life. We have more to come tomorrow. Bye, God bless you. My God.